Hey guys, Shiftcore here. Sorry it's been a while. I know I haven't had my face on film for a while. I've been really delayed in a lot of my WoW videos. I've been developing a brand new studio. I've been starting to set everything up in the other room, but I felt the need that I needed to post something on my WoW channel today. And one of the things that I really wanted to talk about was just what the title says, Burning Crusade Classic Servers. So this is a big topic. A lot of you know that I've been playing a lot of Classic WoW since its release. I'm really excited about it. I like it. Burning Crusade was my favorite time during World of Warcraft's history. I absolutely loved the expansion. I loved everything about it. I would love to go back to it. This is almost confirmed at this point. So, what happened a couple of days ago was a survey went out from Blizzard that talked about the desire for Burning Crusade servers and some of the applications. I've got the survey here, so I'm going to read it. The second question came out with a whole bunch of different questions. I think it was five different choices, five or six, five different choices, and it was asking about how to present Burning Crusade classical servers to the player base. The first option said to continue to play your classic character on an existing server as it progresses through the Burning Crusade expansion. So your characters that exist on Classic right now would just naturally progress into Burning Crusade content, and the whole server would progress as it did way back in the day. Second option, continue playing my classic character on an existing server that will never progress past 60 and have the option to transfer to a Burning Crusade Classic server. So you keep your classic character, but you get the option to migrate that character over to a server that is going to start at Burning Crusade. Next option is to start a brand new level 58 character on a Burning Crusade server. The other option was to start a brand new level 1 character, but on a Burning Crusade server. And the last option was none of the above. Now, I think that this is a really cool idea. Again, Burning Crusade was my favorite expansion, but I think that for the long-term health of World of Warcraft as a whole, this does not feel like the direction that Blizzard should be taking the game. The problem that they're going to run into right now is you have a whole lot of people. I know many people that quit retail entirely just to go play Classic. Now, I know a lot of people came from private server communities and all different other kinds of communities, and we got a whole bunch of people back into the game to play Classic, and hopefully some of the people that came back to play Classic, they pay for their subscription now, so they go back and they play whatever the newest expansion is. At the time of this recording, it's Battle for Azeroth with Shadowlands right on the horizon. So, the problem that you end up running into is that the way the masses play. So you have like the individual like specialized people. You have people that are like, I want to play classic WoW, and that is the only version of WoW that I want to play, and that's what stabilizes the server. But then you have the influx. You have the people who dabble in all of the different elements of WoW. So you have people that play whatever the current expansion is, but then there's a content drought. During that content drought, they decide, I'm gonna go play on my classic server for a little bit, and they log onto their classic character, or vice versa. The problem that I think that this runs into is that if we end up with classic servers, Burning Crusade servers, maybe this leads to Wrath of the Lich King servers. You have whatever the most recent retail server is. Like, when do we stop? Are we going to end up at some point with servers of every different flavor of the expansion? And what is this going to do to the player base? Is this going to split the player base too thin to make any particular expansion just unplayable? You know, the world already feels small, and the numbers for subscriptions have been declining over the last few years. So we're taking a dwindling player base and we're thinning it out more and more and more. So then what do we do about this? And a lot of other people have suggested we do a Classic Plus, which would be phenomenal. From a business perspective, that's the thing that Blizzard would probably want to do. That's the thing that's going to get them the most revenue. There's a precedent for it with what RuneScape has done in the past to success. It basically ends up coming down to how would we implicate it. You would have to create new content for an old game. How would that content feel different? I mean, they have the capabilities. Classic WoW is a much similar game on a smaller platform. It's just the development space is not that difficult. The fights were simpler. We have a lot of data files. We have zones that were never used back in Classic and to this day have still not been used. There's the possibility we could go through a Classic Plus world where we have Mount Hyjal as a zone and we just populate it with NPCs and we create things for it. We have inactive instance portals throughout the world that could have some new dungeons, some new raids, things just thrown in there that have never had relevance in the retail version of the game. You know, are we going to get the Dragon Isles? The Dragon Isles were talked about in Classic WoW, but the problem with something to that scale is that you have a precedent set for wherever the new expansion is. So maybe the new expansion wants to use the Dragon Isles. So how do you do this? That's why I used Hyjal as an example, is we had the post-Cataclysm version Hyjal. It would be very interesting to play through a version of Hyjal that was pre-Cataclysm, that's not through the Caverns of Time effect. Blizzard's got this technology now where you can layer zones, so if they really, really wanted to, if they made this Classic Plus experience, you could go back to the old world Hyjal and maybe layer on the Classic Plus ones, that there's backwards playability. There's tons of different options. Are we going to end up with a Wrath of the Lich King server at this point? You know, we can say that this feels like a confirmation. Blizzard has not outright come out and said we are going to have Burning Crusade servers, but this survey that they're polling their player base with, this is very, very similar to what they've done with Shadowlands now, where they originally talked about the level squish, and we were all like, oh, well, the level squish won't happen because we have all of these different things. But then the survey came out, and now we know there's going to be a level squish. So can we consider this survey confirmation of Burning Crusade? Maybe. How does Blizzard implement it? Would it make more sense for Blizzard to have another option where their classic servers take almost a Diablo system style, where we have seasons of expansions? So you have a 2-year season of Classic WoW, and then all those characters progress on to Burning Crusade, or you have a rollback where everybody has to make brand new level 1 characters on the same server, and the server soft resets. Your characters could transfer onto Burning Crusade, and they could continue to progress, and then the Classic servers recycle, we'll say, every 2 years. They could do, if we go with the WoW Classic Plus mentality, you could introduce things like the transmog system in very small iterations, where at the conclusion of a season of Classic WoW, maybe you could transfer your character to Burning Crusade, maybe you could even transfer your character to Battle for Azeroth, and having completed certain raids on Classic WoW, that unlocks unique transmog on whatever the retail version of WoW is, and that's your seasonal gear that you could get from a Diablo-style system. The main point that I want to get across here is that I'm very concerned with the idea of a Burning Crusade server coming into Classic WoW. I love the idea. If it happens, I will drop all of the projects that I have on the side and I will go live my life through Burning Crusade again. It was my absolute favorite time. But do you guys think that the server is going to be able to handle the player base getting spread too thin? You know, you already have your friends on Classic, you already have your friends on Battle for Azeroth. Are you then going to have to spread even further and have possibly fewer people to play with? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. Still working on this new studio. I've got a lot of projects in the back row. I'm going to continue streaming on Twitch every Sunday. We're going to see what happens, but take it easy, guys, and I'll catch you later.